everyone. Today's video I will be going over the different brands of gel polish that I use and giving my thoughts and opinions on these. I have had a subscriber who's relatively new to gel polish, and she said she was feeling a bit overwhelmed at all the choices and asked if I would do a video showing the brands that I use and from the least expensive to the more expensive brands, and letting her know which ones that I prefer. So I'm going to start with the bases and the top coats, and I'm not going to get too in depth on each of the brands. I'm going to basically talk about three things with each one. One's to me that the three things that make for a good gel polish. First is opacity. I prefer a polish that is opaque in two coats. I do have some that require more coats, and those are nice colors, but I prefer two. Zero or little to no shrink back. I hate fighting shrink back. And since there are polishes out there that I don't have to fight the shrink back, I'm more inclined to want to use those than ones that I do have to constantly fight the pullback from the cuticles or the tip. And of course, another option is wear. It has to wear well. And because I do keep my manicures on for at least a week, and this current manicure that I have, I'm actually keeping it on 2 weeks because I like it so much. So those are the three things I'm gonna talk about. First are the bases. Now I've got 4 brands of bases here. I have the Gelish. This was my very first purchase as far as gel polish. Gelish was a very, well, besides Shellac. Shellac and Gelish were my first purchases. So, I have the Kiss base gel, I have the Shellac, and I have ink. Now, I was using the Shellac for the longest time. It really does have the easiest soak off and is a bit kinder to your nails. I did stop using this because one thing is its UV cure. I did find that it was kind of hit or miss in my LED lamp, especially if I had to wipe the sticky layer for problem polishes. If I had to do that, I found that sometimes the base would start to wipe off if I used my LED lamp. And since I exclusively use the LED lamp now, pretty much, I just stopped using the Shellac base. My preferred base really is the Gelish. The main thing I really like about it, it is a thicker gel than a lot of the bases are. And the short stubby brush, while it's kind of weird, it is really my favorite brush to use to make sure that you get as close to the cuticle, and it's kind of nice to kind of scrub that into your nail and not have to worry about pooling or too thick of a base coat. I do find that if you have the types of the longer brushes like this, this is a very thin base coat, and I found that with these longer brushes like this, you tend to apply too much of the base coat. You don't want too thick of a base coat. I have great wear with this, sometimes too great, and I will have the base coat left over sometimes, but you can't go wrong with as far as the wear in the Gelish. Keep in mind, these are all my experiences. Of course, your nails are your nails, and everybody's are different, and you could have a different experience. The ink base was the absolute easiest removal. However, I found that especially if, like for instance, this nail I have to patch because I'm growing out a tear, this base does not wear well over patches. At least, again, in my experience, they do not. So I just stopped using this altogether. So my preferred base is the Gelish base because I get consistent results and I like the brush. Now, as far as the top coats go, I know, again, it's personal preference. Gelish was the first base or top coat that I tried. I don't like it simply because I have, it's hard to get thin enough coats where it doesn't actually start pooling around my cuticles, and I don't like that. I would almost end up having to flash cure each nail when I use the gelish top coat. And while it does have a lasting shine, I don't want to mess with that pooling. The ink is a good top coat. It is shiny. I have found that compared to, say, my favorite, which is the Kiss, it's not quite as durable. It's almost like it's more porous, and it almost has a slight rubbery feel to it. And I did notice that it doesn't last nearly as long on the tips as my Kiss Top Gel does. While this is a good product, again, very easy soak-offs, I kind of moved away from it to try some others. The Gel 2 is a good top coat as well. It very shiny and lasting results. I really had no problems with this. This is one of those you can pick up in the drugstore. It's the Sally Hansen Salon Gel Polish. I did not really like this gel polish all that much, and it's actually my swatching top coat now. It's kind of thin. It tends to pool a little bit. It's shiny, but again, I moved on and found some, in my opinion, that are better. The IBD, I did not like the IBD top coat. It didn't wear well. I had little chips in the tips of my, along the tip wear, and it didn't stay shiny as long as my other ones did. And again, last but not least, this is my favorite top coat. This is a drugstore brand. I was finding it for about $10 in Walgreens, and very, very durable. You can see with this manicure, I'm going into my second week here, and it's still quite shiny. Very little to zero tip wear when I use this, and it just feels like a nice, good, coating. It didn't have that rubbery feel, kind of like the ink did. So this is my favorite right here. It's a slightly thicker than some of the other gel polishes, so you don't really have to worry about the pooling around the cuticle so much with this one. So this is my favorite one right here. Now moving on to some of the ones that you can find in your drugstores, Ulta, CVS, Walmart, places like that. These, ounce for ounce, these are not necessarily, in fact, they're not the cheapest brands, but they are good if you are kind of debating whether or not you really want to stick with the gel, you just want to try it. This is a good brand, or these are good brands to try because they do have the smaller bottles. All of these run about $10 for their respective ounces here. The Red Carpet, the Sally Hansen, the that's even less. The Gelées, you can get this at Sally's. These all are about 1/3 of an ounce. The same with the finger paints. This is a 0.25 ounce, the Sensational, and this is 1/3 of an ounce as well for the ASP. These are all decent brands. The only one that I really had any problems with was the finger paints. This particular one is a gorgeous blue, but for some reason when I swatched it, and I was not the only one that had this problem, when I started experiencing this, I was asking people, and there were people who had the same problem. It had this strange pitting effect. I would paint it on the nail, and then before I could even stick it into the lamp, it started developing almost like these divots. It's almost like the gel and the color were separating into these slight little divots along the nail. And nothing I could do, nothing. Extra shaking, warming, wiping the sticky layer, nothing helped for this. There's some people who didn't have a problem, but there's others who did. So I know I wasn't the only one with this one. The Sensational, pretty much any color that you're interested in, you can find it in any of the drugstores now. This is a good brand. It took a little bit longer to soak off than some of the other brands I've used before, but it's still a good brand to use. The Sally Hansen, so-so on this one. I had shrink back issues with, this is Commander and Chic, and I had, I think, Pink Pong, and I had major shrink back issues with both of these. Beautiful colors, but again, I hate fighting shrink back, and if I have that problem with it, more than likely I'm going to move on. No shrink back issues typically with most of these Sensational products. I didn't experience any shrink back with the finger paints either. I haven't actually tried the Jellies yet. I do plan on it in the maybe a next coming up manicure. This is an all-in-one base and color. You do have to use a top coat with this. It looks like a great consistency, and when I swatched it, it swatched very nicely. This is opaque in 2 coats. ASP, not a lot of people have heard of this brand, but I really like this brand. I think I have like 3 or 4 colors of this, and I haven't had any issues with this brand. Good coverage, no shrink back, and nice wear. So this is a good brand as well. You can find this at Sally's. Red Carpet Manicure, you can find this at Ulta, Target. This is a good brand as well. Depending on the color, you can have shrink back issues. Not all the colors are like that. They have a terrific line of colors. The wear is great on this, and like I said, the price per ounce, these are not any cheaper than, actually they're more expensive. Say a half an ounce price for, say, a gelish, you might pay $12. If you paid the same per ounce for this, you'd be looking at $20. So again, not the cheapest option, but good for first getting into it. And all of these brands right here offer starter kits. So if you're first getting into it and you want to try it, you can pick up the starter kits for these brands. Now, moving on to the least expensive ones that you can pretty much find online, or if you're lucky to have a nail supply place in your area, which I do, I can find them for even cheaper than what you can find them for online. So we have the IBD, terrific brand. Most colors are opaque in 2 coats. There are some that are not. This red is one of my absolute favorite reds to use, luck of the draw, and it's got terrific coverage. This color particularly applies pretty like a dream. It really does. I get really good wear. I have noticed with some of the IBD colors that I will get tiny chips in the tips, but not really to where it's any issue or that anyone's going to notice. I have a habit of kind of running my thumbnail over my nails sometimes. It's kind of a nervous habit, and I catch those little chips. I can feel them. But like I said, no one's really going to notice those except you. Ink, you can find this online. There's a seller on eBay. These run, let's see, inks run about $7 to $8 depending on the seller online. And this is a good brand, terrific soak off, generally good opaqueness. Some require more than 2 coats than others, and a ton of colors. So this is a good option for a full size bottle such as this. Again, soak offs really, really easy on this. Soak offs, usually the entire sheet of polish will come off instead of just kind of flaking off. The IBDs kind of flake off when you soak them off. This comes off in one sheet. Another is NSI. I'm not a fan of this brand. I can't even remember why I bought it. I think I was looking for some more reds, and you have to shake the bejesus out of these to get the gel mixed. I don't like their formulas. They did have some shrink back. And I don't know. I'm just not feeling that these are almost as an inferior product compared to some of the others that I could find. These run, the NSI runs about $8 to $10 for 0.5 ounces. The IBD runs 7 to 10, depending on where you buy these. I can find these for about $6 in my nail place. True Gel and Pro Gel are pretty much, as far as colors and all that, I believe these are almost identical, and there's lots of dupe colors in these. Of the brands, I prefer the True Gel. Now, some of the True Gel colors are not opaque in 2 coats, and you really, really have to shake these colors up to get them blended really well. True Gel runs about $7 to $9 online. Like I said, mostly opaque in 2 coats for most colors, not all, for 0.5 ounces. And wear, I know I have never had any trouble with the wear with True Gel. The Pro Gel, I have worn a couple of colors from Pro Gel. Again, not a problem for wear, no issues with shrink back. Some colors of the True Gel, I will have some shrink back issues. This color really applied quite nicely right here, this Cameo Coral. Again, I don't know if you can see this in the bottle. You can see where the color kind of separates from the gel in here, and again, you kind of have to shake these quite a bit to get the color incorporated. This is a nail supply color. I haven't yet found these online. I got this for, I think it was $7 for the eye gel. No, I'm sorry, this was $9 for the eye gel. I really like this brand. It has really nice coverage on the swatch, and I haven't worn it yet, but I do know one lady on a group that I'm with that said she had really good wear with it and a good soak off. Opaque in 2 coats. Not quite sure about the soak off, and like I said, I paid about $9 in my store. Another lady says she paid, I think they were running about $7. So these are in the least expensive range right here. All of these, again, just do a search for them online. You should have no problems finding these online. And we're moving on to the medium range brands. There's not many in the medium range. It seems to be either cheap or expensive. Artistic Color Gloss. This is a good brand. I own quite a few colors. Most of them are opaque in 2 coats. Very little shrink back with them, and nice wear with it as well. This is 0.5 ounces, and the Artistic Gloss runs, let's see, Artistic Gloss runs 7 to 19, sorry, 9 to 17. Was dyslexic there. So that's quite a difference in price, so shop around. You'll probably be able to find some really good deals if you shop around for this one. The Gel 2, this is I like Gel 2. The only drawback for Gel 2 for me is soak off. Because the base gel is built in, it can take a little longer to soak off with this. I find that it takes up to sometimes 30 minutes to soak off completely. But if you want a polish that you can wear for a lengthy time, this is it. Almost every color I have was opaque in 2 coats. Again, great wear. Very little shrink back on most of the colors, although I did experience some shrink back with my black bottle. my Midnight Black that I bought recently. But other than that, no really any problems. This is a good brand. The only thing too I don't like is it's got a funky odor to it. So if you can get past that, you're okay. And I'm going to show you this, but I will never ever recommend this brand to anyone. This is Haute Polish, and it's an all-in-one polish, base, top, and color. These are absolutely horrible polishes. I have 3 colors, and I'll show you what that right there is all the pigment. And no matter how much you shake this, it's not going to come off the bottom of the bottle. I actually had to stick a toothpick in there to try and get that off of there, and then shake it for about an hour, it seemed, before I can get it completely incorporated. So you're left with, I mean, this is just, it's a horrible, absolutely horrible product. And I'm sorry, Hope Polish, but not the best product that you have here. I didn't even apply this to my nails. There was no way I was going to use this. People ask me about it, and I tell them straight up, not something that I would invest in. And they're not cheap either. The Hope Polish runs about $12 to $16. 12 if you find it on sale, 16 is the regular price. Not worth it in my opinion. So those are the medium range ones. And now we get to the more expensive brands. Ounce for ounce, Shellac is your most expensive, really, as far as the upper end of the. You'll pay for Shellac. Shellac runs $15 to $17 for 0.25 ounces. That's half of what you get for pretty much all of these other polishes here. All of these are 0.5 ounces. Except for this one. Orly is 1/3 of an ounce. So that's essentially, 30, what was that? $30 to $34 for the same amount in the rest of these 0.5 ounces. So, and Shellac, downside, big downside for me, UV only cure. And a lot of the colors lately have horrible applications. It's like terrible shrink back, streakiness, kind of a goopy consistency to them. The Midnight Swim color, horrible. I couldn't, it's horrible. So, and also wear. Because this is a hybrid pot product with gel and nail lacquer, I didn't find the best wear with this. So I kind of moved away because, again, I don't like that it's not UV cured. Gelish. Gelish is hit or miss with me. You have some colors that are great, and you have great application, no shrink back, you have great wear. I'm not going to knock Gelish on the wear. You do get terrific wear. It's the application that's hit or miss with some of these colors. For instance, up in the blue, this beautiful blue, terrific application. It's opaque in 2 coats, have no shrink back, great wear, but You Glare, I Glow, absolutely horrible application. It was streaky, it got goopy to where it was starting to tug and pull the polish across the nail. It was absolutely horrible. It's too bad that it's such a gorgeous color that, you have such horrible application. The streakiness, I will say, for that color did kind of even out after the second coat, but I hate fighting the shrink back. That's my biggest issue, because there are other brands out there that I don't have to fight the shrink back. And if I don't, and that's, to me, that's the worst offender when it comes to the gel polish. And if I find one that, applies great, wears great, I'm going to go with that product. So hit or miss with Gelish. You can't beat the wear. but application can be iffy. And gelish, depending on where you shop, can run between $11 to $15. I can usually find it for about $12 in my nail shop. Orly, I do not like Orly. I have not had one Orly polish that has had good application. These have horrible application shrink back, and I think it just has something to do with the amount of pigment to gel ratio. You have to shake these up constantly. I just do not like the Orly, and these have some of the worst soak-offs for me. I remember wearing their red glitter color. I can't remember what the name of it is. I had 3 coats on it, and it took over an hour to soak that off. So I'm not going to recommend Orly simply because of the shrink back and the soak off. Not sure if anybody else has had problems with the soak off with Orly, but I'm not going to recommend it simply because of that. Orly runs $15 to $17 as well, not your cheapest. Again, 1/3 of an ounce for this. The Cuccio, I love their colors, and they're similar to Le Chat in that now you can find them in duo packs here where you get a regular gel polish that matches the gel. Cuccio runs about $16 to $17. My nail place had them on sale for $11. Couldn't beat it, so I went ahead and bought this blue one here. Slight shrink back issues, but nothing that would keep me from wearing it. Very nice wear. Again, it's in a price point that I don't mind too much. And again, all of these you can find online. If you just do a quick search, you'll be able to find these. Couture, this is a good brand. Lots of nice colors and terrific soak-offs with Couture. Some of the colors I have had shrink back issues, and some of the colors have fading issues, but that's consistent with a lot of the gel brands, especially purples and some pinks. You kind of have to watch out for fading. This is one of the more expensive brands. This goes for $15 a bottle. If you buy more bottles, you get a slight discount off the colors, but if you buy a single bottle, $15. Again, most of them opaque in 2 coats. They do wear nicely, and soak off is a breeze with this one. Okay, OPI. I know a lot of people like OPI, and these colors I have here were when they first started coming out with their gel color. And I've been told that it's possible that they changed their formula. I cannot stand this first set of that I bought. The gel, I cannot say enough how I hate this. The gel and the pigment do not mix very well. You have to constantly shake this. Terrible shrink back with this, with the OPI. And one of your most expensive brands, really, the OPI can run $13 to $17 a bottle, depending on where you buy it. Even my nail supply place keeps these pretty expensive. I think these run about $15 in my nail supply place. Again, I've had people tell me that the formula has changed, so, but you know, that old adage, you know, once burned, twice shy. Again, I have found other brands that I really enjoy that I don't have to fight the issues that I fight with the OPI. So you can certainly give it a try. I know, a lot of people who really like the OPI gel color. I do not. And again, the issue was shrink back. The colors wore quite nicely. That wasn't an issue. But it's kind of too expensive to have the problems with the shrink back, in my opinion. And last but not least, I will show you what my absolute pretty much my absolute favorite brand of nail polishes is the Lachat. And they come, what I buy is the perfect match. They come in a boxed set where you get the regular nail polish color and you have your gel polish color. And I can find these for about $11 in my nail supply place. Online, you would find these for about, let's see, Lachat runs about 12 to 15, depending on where you purchase it. And they have a great range of colors with glitters and creams and shimmers and frosts, and really good selection. Almost all of the colors are opaque in 2 coats, except for the ones that really, to me, aren't meant to be opaque in 2 coats. The formula is quite nice. It is slightly thicker than some of the other gel polishes out there, but it still has a great workability to it. It does not pull on the nail, so you don't get that streakiness that you can get with some polishes. Wear, terrific wear. I've had some manicures I've worn up to over 2 weeks and terrific wear. So all in all, this is my absolute favorite brand of polish. Pretty much zero to no shrink back with any of the colors that I've used. And so there you have it. There's my opinion on all the different brands. These are the ones that I own, and I have probably close to 300 bottles of polish. So I've experimented with quite a few. I've run over 30 minutes now, so I'm going to move on. If there is something that you want me to go more in depth about, certainly leave it down in the comments, or you can visit me on my blog if you want me to discuss something, more about a particular product. I'll be happy to do that. And I hope you have found it helpful. And until next time, I will see you later.